Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Readers Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I will be your host for today. And with me is one of the Readers Magnet's featured author. And today, she will be sharing to us what this book is all about. Her was an author, and of course, the inspiration behind her writing this book. So, everyone, let's all welcome our one and only Miss Elle Menard, author of the book Phantom Elite Series. Hi, Elle. How are you
Hi,
doing?
I'm good. I'm
That's
good,
good
thank
to
you.
hear. Thank you so much, Elle. So, yes, Elle, today is the day that we're waiting for because, again, it's now time to know more information about your book. But, Elle, before we do that, I wanted to, you know, um, I wanted you to take this opportunity to at least let the people know who Ms. Elle Menard is. So, a little bit of self introduction, please.
Sure. So I am from a small town in New England, and I am someone who has always loved writing. It's always been an outlet for me. And I am in my first year of actually really putting myself out there. My writing had always been something that was just for myself. And I decided to write a book that had a lot of me in it with my personality. I'm a very bubbly person, extrovert all the way, love talking to people. I do it for a living. So it's that's a little bit of me in a nutshell, as I'm as extroverted as they absolutely come.
Wow, that's good to hear, Elle. You know what? Speaking of extrovert person, I am also an extrovert person, so that's why I can really feel the vibe right now, Elle. Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for that, Elle. And yes, this is a moment that we've been waiting for. So will you please tell us what this book is all about?
Sure. So, Phantom is about a girl named Evelyn, who her father is killed, and she believes that a person named Anthony Reese, who was actually his best friend, killed him, but she needs to prove that. And before her 18th birthday, she's a cyber hacker, and she's trying to get information to prove that her stepdad, because her mother married the best friend, um,
Whoa,
that
interesting.
he plot twist there, and so she's trying to prove that he's a bad guy, and she tries to connect into something that she shouldn't be. And then she actually gets asked if she wants to join a special operations team that is specifically designed to take down Anthony Reese. Um, Everyone on her squad has been connected to Anthony Reese in some way, and their lives have been impacted by him. So she joins the squad, and she ends up going undercover at a security firm where Anthony Reese is a client at, to try to get intel about him. Well, she ends up falling in love with the person who she is her mission. and
Wow, so
he,
this is our romance here.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And he is in charge of the Italian mafia. So there's definitely a lot of dark romance. Um, my book girlies will definitely love it. All the book baddies that I like to call them will enjoy this dark romance.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Al. Thank you for sharing. I mean, you know what? I really love, these kinds of book. Especially when it talks about mystery. Solving a puzzle. You're really into like creating a feeling of getting a resolution. With the audience. Wow, this is so great. Now, yes, right now, Al, for the whole journey of you writing this book, may we know where did you get this, or what inspired you to have this kind of idea to create a books like to create this specific genre for your book?
Sure. So, about a year ago, I was dealing with some heavy medical stuff, and I was healing from
Mm.
that. and I had gotten really into reading. I hadn't, because I was very sedentary, couldn't really do much. And I really fell in love with the genre. And one day I came up with, I don't really know how it came up, but it did, with the idea of having a squad that had all these fun code names. So Evelyn's code name is Phantom. So that's why it's called Phantom, because it focuses on her. But the first
Wow.
character I came up with was Buddha. And my inspiration for him is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Just picture this
Yes.
big burly dude, but him being like this like super even keeled guy. He he's just very mellow, but he looks super mean. But they call him Buddha because he's just like into meditation and yoga and
Mm.
all that kind of stuff. But he specializes in explosives and IEDs and all of that. So each of them, you have Badger, you have Zombie, Arrow, Phantom, Ghost, Machine, and Chief. So they all have their own names for their own reasons, which you'll find out in the book.
Wow, wow. I like that. We also need to, leave a cliffhanger for the audience, right?
Yes.
And you know what, Elle, I really like you mentioned earlier because, the whole experience, the idea of you creating this kind of book is also to really, at the same time, challenge your brain in an active experience. Wow,
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, just as you need to also exercise your physical body to stay in good shape, you also need to work your brain to keep in peak condition, right?
Exactly.
Wow. I
Yeah.
like that. Especially these kinds of books. Thrillers and mysteries provide really, puzzles to work through. It's actually I must say like an obstacle course for your brain. Wow, it's
Hmm.
actually a good thing, to solve problems. Red herrings, clue, a piece of
Yeah.
evidence. Wow, I like that. And also, yes, no, L, being as for being a writer, for how many years already, because you're really into writing, and also at the same time love to really interact people. What was the most surprising, things you learned in creating your, or did something like really surprises you that, hey, wow, I'm amazed that I can do more.
I honestly have just been amazed by the feedback I've gotten, and how entertained that of like some of my closest friends or even acquaintances have just reached out to me and said, when does the second book come out? Like, you can't leave me there. When does the second? I actually have a friend of mine who just texted me last night and was like, I'm currently rereading Phantom because I'm just not over the characters yet. I need to stay
Mhm.
with them a little bit longer. And so that's probably the biggest thing that has surprised me, just because this was something to just kind of exercise my brain, like you said. And people are really finding connections with these characters. And that just kind of melts my heart a little bit.
Wow, wow. Which is really one of the main goal, to really
Mhm.
inspire people as well. It's not
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's actually a good thing, Elle, because you know what? I believe that it's not just about you sharing what you can do, but at the same time, your book is also advocating for a specific cause and agenda, helping people to really exercise their brain and wow, it's just so amazing. This is actually one of the reasons why I am also into, mystery books because again, it's very interesting, stakes truth and justice, and wow, it's just so amazing. Thank you so much for that, Elle. And now also, Elle, you mentioned earlier that you already received a lot of positive feedbacks, good comments about your book. Now, can you tell us, some personal stuff? Would you tell us what was the impact of you creating this book to you and to your loved ones?
So this has been, it's created such cool relationships. My husband
Love
has
that.
been super positive. He like it's really interesting when we're out and he'll be like, "Yeah, my wife's an author," and I'm like, "Oh, I forget that
Right.
I am." Um, and it's really been humbling and created very it's added a different layer to my relationships with my friends because
Wow.
it's a sense of vulnerability of putting myself out there and letting them read
Mhm.
it. I have no problem with strangers reading it. Ironically, it's my friends and my family reading it
Mhm.
that I'm like, oh God, what are they going to say? um, and but it's been nothing but positive things and just has really created stronger relationships with them. And they're all like, okay, when can I get a signed copy? What can I do to help? And that's been really cool.
Wow, that's so, I mean, that's so priceless, especially when you have that, support coming from your loved ones. I mean, it's a different feeling. That's what you had mentioned earlier. I don't mind strangers giving really feedback. I mean, it also helped me to encourage, to be more encouraged, but it's a different feeling when it comes from your family, friends, special loved ones. I mean, wow, that's amazing. Now, Elle, I really wanted you to also take this opportunity, or here, what do you think your readers will, take away after reading your book?
So I think they'll take a couple of things. I think one, they will get an insight to my kind of humor and things that I'm interested in.
Hmm.
Evelyn's obsessed with coffee and marshmallows, and she has a cat named Alfredo. And
Perfect combination.
I'm a crazy cat lady. I love coffee and I love marshmallows. So I think that's one of the first things they'll get from
Hmm.
that.
Right.
It really brings up some dark topics that I think are really important for our society because it dabbles in sex trafficking. It talks about darker elements that I just think triggers that I think need to be talked about.
Hmm.
And as you go throughout the series, because this is the first book of four, that this will really all of those really important concepts will be brought throughout the entire series, and just kind of bring rise to things that we may not think about every day.
Right, right, wow. And of course, Ellie, what would be the message that you'd like to say to the future readers? What would
Um,
is there any like piece of advice? Hey, you need to prepare for yourself.
um,
Okay.
so the best thing I'm going to say is there is a happily ever after. However, you're going to go
Okay.
through the ringer. I'm going to take you for a roller coaster. And by the end of
Mhm.
it, you're going to feel battered and bruised, but you're going to be happy at the same time. So
Wow.
I'm going to make you feel a lot of different emotions. I'm going to make you laugh. I might make you cry. But at the end, you will have some sort of solace with the ending.
Wow, that's good to hear. Thank you so much, Al. Interesting, interesting. You know what? Thank you so much, Al. It was really an interesting discussion with you. Thank you so much for gracing with us today, and at the same time for really taking Reader's Magnet to be with you in this journey. So, yes, everyone, our one and only Ms. Elle Menard. She's the author of the book Phantom, the Elite series, and just also let you know that this book is available in Amazon.com, goodnovel.com, and mobilereader.com. So yes, Elle, will you please show to our viewers? Yeah, will you please show your book to our viewers? Okay, there. All right. Thank you so much, Elle. So yes, Elle, again, thank you so much. And as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world.
Thank you.